Hi guys, welcome back to TayMysticalMermaidLight. I want to do a reading to talk about little tips that I can maybe share some little tips that I can give you when it comes to entering, I want to say, your own spirituality, because I don't see it as being a category or a group or anything that you join. It's just more about tuning in, tapping into who you truly are spiritually. So tips that I can give you on honing more in to your own spirituality. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. But one of the first tips I can give you is to always be authentic to who you are. That's one. Always be authentic to who you are. All right. Another tip that I can give you is to tap within, go within. It's more about you connecting with God on your own, having your own relationship with God, or having your own relationship with the universe or source, the divine, whomever you would like to call it, however you would like to call it, source. It's about that. It's about you guys doing your own research. I definitely feel that people should learn more on their own. I feel that it's when you tap more into your spirituality, it's about you coming back to yourself. It's about you connecting with your higher self. It's nothing else. It's about you going within. So one of the basic foundations you could have when it comes to starting your own, how do I say, getting on the path to spirituality, because I'm seeing the Hermit card in my head. Walking your own path of spirituality is one, being authentic to yourself. Meditation and prayer would be 2 and 3. Prayer is asking. It's about talking to the divine, talking to your spiritual team. Meditation is listening. Meditation is when you are in silence, when you can receive the messages, the wisdom, the downloads, the information that's trying to be given to you, the peace that's given to you within meditation. Now, I'm probably going to make a totally different video about meditation within itself, because there's so many different forms of meditation. But there's some simple keys to meditation that are easy, like consistency. The more consistent you are with meditation, the easier it gets. A prayer, there's no right way of praying, despite what different religions say. There's no right way. There's no specific way of prayer. It's just about speaking to the divine, like I'm speaking to you. So it's just about having a one-on-one communication with source or your spiritual team. I would say prayer, meditation would be the basics that you would want to keep with you throughout the rest of your life. Meditation and prayer. It's all you need. You don't need a candle all the time. You don't need water all the time. You don't need, all these outside things like, intention oils and crystals. You don't always need that stuff. That stuff isn't always available. All you need is prayer and meditation. All you need is that intention. All you need is to set the intention of what you're trying to ask and what you're trying to, hear. Okay, I'm asking this and I want to hear an answer back, or I'm open to receiving any messages the divine is willing to give me. Those are the 2 basics I can give anyone in life: meditation, prayer. But once again, it comes back to authenticity. Your spiritual path won't be like everyone else's. It's not going to be, oh, okay, I did this and it ended up being like that, just like so-and-so, or so-and-so did this, so maybe mine's. No, that's why I tell you, be authentic to yourself. I can say, the more I just spent time alone and connecting with the divine and source, God, the Holy Spirit, that's the more I realized who I was. That's the more I tapped more into Taylor, my higher self. That's how I knew. I said, they showed me this, or they told me that, So it's not about relying on other people's wisdom or knowledge. It's about going within and receiving, getting that knowledge for yourself. So it's about you connecting with your higher self. It's about you going within. So that's the authenticity behind it. You don't really need anyone. You don't need a spiritual guru. You don't need a teacher. You don't need to pay $20,000 or $2,000. People, especially in LA, there's a lot of weird stuff where people are paying for these different spiritual classes, and it's BS. All you need to do is to tap within. All you need to do is meditation, prayer. You can do your own attunement. Okay, so it's something that we can do on our own, but a lot of times when people are stressed out, or when they're grieving, or when they're depressed, or when they're at their lowest, they go and they're desperate. They're desperate to try anything. when all they needed was meditation and prayer and spending time outside in nature, connecting with Mother Earth, connecting with God. That will help you. I'm telling you, huge, big time. That alone is your key to really tapping in to whatever your higher self and this higher realms are trying to tell you, okay? So setting that intention. I want to be truthful and honest with you guys. I want you to be aware of cults and spiritual groups and spiritual leaders. You know, there's so many, how do I say it? There's so many hidden cults and groups within religions and spirituality. A lot of different things hidden in plain sight, but hidden under, it's like a wolf in sheep's clothing. It looks innocent, it looks nice and good, but there's just a lot of groups that I have to warn you guys, you want to be careful of, okay? Be careful of people trying to get you to spend money or to invest in things or to do weird stuff, you know, like, or if it has to do with sex or magic or being initiated. Just be aware of stuff like that, because a lot of times people are in cults and they don't realize it until they're in it. It's like, oh shit, I'm in a cult. So you want to be aware of that. Stay away from that. You know, that's why I say the best route you can take is one-on-one, you and the divine. You don't need anyone to connect to the divine. You don't need anyone telling you, oh, you have to come through me to connect to whomever. That's bullshit. All you need is the God. All you need is the divine. You don't need anyone telling you what to do. Now, of course, there are some people, there are trustworthy elders, and then there are some elders where they're full of shit. You know, they'll milk you. They'll do different things just to, you know, get money from you or to see how far that they can, you know, use you. That's why I always tell people, be careful. It's interesting because a lot of people want to learn about spiritual cleanses and herbs and stuff like that. And yes, there are some people that have a lot of knowledge about that. And there are some people who will take their power and use it for bad. Some people will take their power and use it for good. Honestly, for me, my own angels and ancestors will come through, and spirit guides will come through and tell me what I need to know. The more you connect with your spiritual team, the stronger you build a connection with the divine, you will receive messages. And you'll know who you can go to. You'll know what place you can go to. You'll receive those downloads. You'll just know it. And sometimes they will put different people on your path to teach you, but you have to have discernment to know who's honestly there for your highest good and who's not, okay? So I just want you guys to be aware of this, because there's a lot of this going on. This new age thing is tricky because some of it is dark. Some of it legit is dark, okay? And then some of it, hold on, Joe, hold on. Sorry, you guys, one of my dogs is over here growling. Okay, hold on, you guys. So it's like some of it is dark and some of it is light. Some of it, you know, so I wouldn't even consider myself a part of anything religious. I wouldn't even consider myself a part of anything spiritual. Like, I'm not in any group. I'm on my own here because that's the safest for me. I don't believe in joining anything. I don't believe in being in organized religion or spirituality. You're not going to put me in a group of, you're not going to put me in anything, basically. You're not going to put me in a group of people. I don't feel comfortable like that. I feel like it's like a herd. That's just me personally. I don't believe in that. I believe in following my own path, you know, my own soul path. So, hey, that could be my Sagittarius North Node talking, but I'm just having a real chat with you guys. This is like tea and tarot time for us. Like, I want to be honest with you guys. I want you to be careful with what's going on out here. There's a lot of interesting stuff happening right now. A lot of people pretending to be, how do I say it? Pretending to be of light, you know, pretending to have a higher good, or how do I say it? Pretending to be good. I hate saying it just like that, but that's what it is. They're pretending. Really, what it is just power. It's just power hungry. It's driven by something. It's driven by something that you're not seeing. That's what I just heard. So just be aware of some of these teachers that are around here, these groups that are around here, these leaders that are out here. Follow yourself. You know, don't put anyone on a pedestal, you know, don't. It's just, trust me, don't. Focus on you. Everyone's learning a lesson. Everyone's going through their own path, you know, going through their own issues and blessings and healing and all of it. You know, we're all going through different things, similar but different. So once again, I will always tell you guys, follow your own path. There's light and dark within every single thing. You know, I wouldn't knock crystals. Crystals come from the earth. I wouldn't knock a lot of the things that have helped me along my path. Some people change their mind when they're in religions or when they're in spirituality. I don't know how to explain it to you guys. People go through a lot of shifts. So, for example, someone could one day be quite spiritual, and then all of a sudden they'll jump to another religion and shut down and totally block out the part of their life where they were very new age or something like that. I don't know why they're telling me to say it to you guys. I don't know why they're going on this whole rant, but this is like my angels and ancestors wanting to talk to you guys. It's because people go through different lessons, and they may come out of that and do something totally different. So what they're saying right now is like, you could be raised Christian, then you end up going more of a spiritual, for the lack of a better word, this spiritual path, right? Then you end up back in Christianity, just to leave Christianity again and end up in Hinduism. It's like a bounce. They're showing me someone bouncing around, and you have to be okay with your path spiraling and turning and changing. You have to be okay with that, because life is all about learning. That's why I never knock people if they'll go back to religion, or if they'll go to spirituality, or if they decide to not believe in anything at all. It's because it's a part of their path. It's a part of their journey to go through that cycle of, okay, I know this, now I'm confused. Okay, I don't believe in this anymore. Oh, but now I do believe in this. Because guess what? That's their freedom. And I think it's beautiful when you can trust yourself enough to say, you know what? This was resonating with me one day, and now it's not resonating with me. This was resonating with me one day, and now this isn't resonating with me. So some people jump, you know. For me, I don't know why they brought up the whole crystal thing, but crystals, I really love working with crystals. They really, because it's a part of earth. I love seashells and I love crystals. I like connecting with earth as much as I can, because earth will help ground you. So that's another tip, you guys. Those are some other tips. Don't be afraid to let your path, you know, take you wherever you need to go, whether it's within religion, whether it's within spirituality, whatever it is, you know. So those are tips that I can give you. Be open to the journey, be open to the path, but stay away from cults. Stay away from idolizing people. Stay away from that, okay? And there's cults within spirituality groups and religion. Be aware of that, okay? And online too, because there's a lot of cults online. They don't even realize that they are, following like they're cattle, just following this one person. So be aware of that. Don't put people on pedestals. Really, you guys really need to tap within more, okay? So I definitely feel like one of the coolest things that you can do for yourself is just to be free. Connect with the divine. Have your own relationship with God. Watch what happens. That's all you need. It's so simple. That's all you need. You don't need a book. You don't need cards. You don't need a pendulum. You don't need a pentagram or what else? Herbs. You don't need all of that. Like, it's so simple. Meditation and prayer consistently. I'm telling you, prayer works miracles. Like, sometimes you don't think that you're being heard, and sometimes you don't feel like it's in the right timing, but it's always in divine timing. It's always in God's timing. Meditation, when you're consistent, you'd be shocked what you'll see. I also noticed that when I was consistent in meditation, my reflexes got stronger. It's really interesting. So I definitely believe in some of the stories that those monks, about the monks where they can like create fire with their hands and different stuff like that, because meditation is something serious. It's really powerful. It really clears the mind. It really resets the whole body, in my opinion, as well as a vow of silence. So I will always recommend that too, if you can do that. Have a week or a month where you just are silent. You don't talk. Of course, you let people know that you're fine. Let people know where you are, or let people know what you're doing, so that no one freaks out, and that people just know that you're safe. Have a moment of silence. Go through that. A couple weeks or a month. Just quiet, no social media. I messed up. I went on social media. I'm not even gonna lie, you guys, but no social media, no communication, just silence, meditation. No technology, just meditation. Meditation and prayer. Breathing, meditation, prayer, nature. Just do that. Watch what happens. You'd be shocked. It could really help. I noticed that it helped me a lot when I was super anxious and super depressed. And I mean, I was really low, you guys. I was going through a lot. My depression was really bad. I was suicidal. Like, it was really bad. I was grieving a lot. I was really missing my mom, and I was just stressed out and anxious in life. And when I went on, I think I only made it like 10 days, if I'm not mistaken. May have been less than that, but just silence. Silence, yes. Every now and then I would kind of peek at my social media, but just silence, just breathing and communicating with the divine. It really reset me. I felt that reset. And I learned new knowledge. And at that time, it's interesting that they guided me to Hinduism. They guided me to Ganesha more. I learned more about Ganesha. And they showed me a lot of different signs that had to do with Hinduism. Even places that were local, they were trying to show me. So I was like, whoa, like that was the whole new path, the whole new journey. So you'd be shocked what the divine will show you. You know, you'll be shocked. And then I had another time where I was very, very strong with my meditation. Like, I was on point meditating in the morning and at night. And they showed me a lot of different Bible verses, a lot about, you know, Christianity. So I'm telling you, they will use the divine God. The angels and archangels will use different things. Your ancestors will use different things to show you, to guide you, to teach you, you know. So keep an open mind, but also have discernment. That's what I would tell you along your spiritual path, you know. You don't have to pay hundreds and thousands of dollars to do shit. It's BS, you know. That's a business. It's a business. So, of course, if you're getting a reading from someone, that is them using their energy to help you or to give you guidance. But even be aware with the readers you go to, you guys, because I mean, I've even had some weird experiences with readers and people who claim to be psychics and mediums. And that's what I tell people all the time. There's a difference between a tarot reader and a psychic and a medium. You know, anyone can go and pick up a tarot deck from Barnes and Nobles and learn tarot spreads and read cards, right? It's not that hard to read tarot, but how many people are able to give you psychic knowledge, wisdom that you can't pick up from the cards? How many people are able to give you that? So sometimes you'll have people playing a guessing game, and if you ask a serious question, someone's playing a guessing game and they tell you something that might be hurtful and it may not be true or not, you want to be careful with that. You have people who are playing with people's emotions, and you know, and it's because they want their money. So be aware of that. Then you have people who try to bait you in, telling you, oh, you need a cleanse, and you want to be aware of that because they're wanting you to pay for more. I had that happen with someone. They're actually a good reader, but the person was trying to bait me into getting a cleanse. That was a lot of money. So you have to be careful with people and make sure that they're not taking advantage of you. You have to have discernment. You have to follow your heart. If you feel like something's off with someone, don't get a reading from them. Don't get any healing services with them if you feel like something's off, okay? That's why you're supposed to pray. I definitely feel that you're supposed to pray before you get a reading with someone. Before you book a reading with someone, ask your angels and ancestors if they like that person, if that's the person you're supposed to be getting a reading from, because it will save you a lot of, you know, drama or confusion, you know. Sometimes people, you know, sometimes readers are on point and sometimes they're not. And sometimes they're good readers and they're just off. I've had two readings from two readers that were actually pretty good and they were totally off. They're good with their pick of cards. They're good on, you know, on their own when you see them on YouTube, but they were totally off when it came to personal life. So it's just interesting. Sometimes they're tapped into your energy well and sometimes they're not. It just depends because no one's perfect. Sometimes we're on point, sometimes we're not. Sometimes it's past energy, sometimes it's present energy, sometimes it's future energy. But just be aware of people trying to use you and take you for money. You have people that'll say, oh, I'm just giving donation readings. You can give me anything you want. But when you receive the reading, you realize they're so off or that they're projecting their own issues onto you. So you really want to be careful. I'm not saying that all donation readings are bad. No, it's not that. It's just that some people, you'll have people who are just trying to get whatever they can get. right? And they'll give you this reading, and not sometimes it's on point, sometimes it's not. Then you have people who will, you know, charge a lot of money, and it depends on that person's energy and time and how good they are and how long the reading is. You have some people who will charge you a lot of money and the reading was not worth it because maybe the reading is short. Maybe they rushed through it. Or maybe, you know, it's just like, man, that's all you gave me. Only gave me 3 cards for $100. Like, damn. Like, you know, you have to be aware of all of this. You have to look at how much time you're getting out of the reading. What is the quality of the reading? Are they breaking things down? Are they telling you what you just want to hear? Or are they totally projecting their own issues onto your reading? It can be tricky. That's why I always say, pray before you book with someone, okay? The divine is going to tell you, your angels and ancestors are going to lead you to the right reader. They'll lead you to the, no, not right reader, the right psychic or medium, okay? So if that's what you're interested in, even the right healers. So it's about, that's why I tell people, be careful when you tarot hop, because some people tarot hop and they'll go to different readers back to back, which is cool because sometimes you want to see who you vibe with, right? Whose style you like. But ultimately, if you're asking a question that's serious to heart or close to heart, you want to be careful who you go to, because I'm telling you, I've had this happen twice. I remember I got this reading with this woman. They're telling me to share this with you guys. I was going through a lot, and honestly, I had went to find this reader who I had met. She was a street reader, and she was kind of good. She was okay. It was a long time ago. And I don't know why I thought the little lady would have been there, but she wasn't. Came across another lady. And I was curious. I saw her and I was like, maybe I'll go back to her. Maybe it's a sign. I don't know. Went to her. And when I sat down with her, she had this intense look. Like something looked really intense about her. But I didn't know if it was in a good way or in a bad way yet, because I was just all over the place. Like I wasn't grounded. I hadn't been meditating. I hadn't been on my A game, and I didn't pray over it. Sat down with her and asked a question. She said, oh, it's all donation based, whatever you want to give me. And I could tell she was struggling. Like it was, oh my God, that was weird. It was on Venice Beach, and I could tell that she was like, you know, struggling. Like it was weird. And I was like, oh, you know, I felt bad for her. I was like, oh, let me stay. Because at one point I was kind of like, maybe I shouldn't have did this. But I was like, oh, I feel bad now because now I'm here. And, you know, but I should have gotten up and left. But I sat there and she just told me some really like negative stuff and just looked at me. And I was like, okay, this one was kind of crazy. Like it was just, the energy was weird. And when I left, I felt negative. I just felt sad. I feel like depressed. And it was almost like she had did some type of energy exchange. Like her energy that was low was kind of given to me. And so that's why, and that was in person. So that's why I'm also very leery about doing readings in person with people, whether I'm giving it or receiving it, because you'd be shocked. Readings are energy exchange. That person can give their energy, their own they can project onto you. And sometimes they don't know how to read. Sometimes people don't read into the situation because they're not psychic. They're not completely tapped in. They're more of, oh, I mean, this card means this. Okay, here's that, right? Like, oh, this means this. It's like, okay, we'll read more into the card. So she got a little tripped up because I told her I was a reader. So that was kind of strange. I think that tripped her up as well. But I'm telling you guys to say that sometimes you'll have bad experiences. I had a really good experience a long time ago. And I'm telling you, that woman, her energy was so dark. And when I went back to the beach, guess what? I saw her. And she looked so, like, she looked out of it. Like, something was off. Like, she was just vibing and just, I shouldn't have gotten a reading from her. So, the whole point is to tell you to read people before you have them read you. Like, you know, follow your intuition, pray over it, have discernment. When I was younger, I had a reading with a woman, very talented, let me tell you. She had a shop. She was amazing, but she was quite interesting. This is a whole nother thing I'm going to mention to you guys. This woman, I knew something was quite magical about her. I could never remember her face. I've seen her several times, and I never remember her face. She was an older woman and extremely talented, and she used to read with just a pendulum. I think she had cards, but she used a pendulum mostly. And she was gifted. She was a psychic. She was a medium. She could read without the card. She could read with the pendulum. And she saw things. And she was on point. She was very much on point. Very talented. And but she was an older woman, and she stopped doing what she was doing. So you're going to have experiences in life where you're going to have to determine whether that was for you or not. And you're going to have to learn how to release it, because sometimes that heavy stuff, especially when it's something you don't want to hear, something you don't want to hear until you realize, okay, this person's energy is weird. It's low. You have to learn how to get that out of your energy. You're going to have to learn how to forgive that and to remove that. You have to know what's for you and what's not for you. I had another reader. He was more of a medium. At first I was like, oh, this doesn't resonate at all. This doesn't resonate. Like, this was nothing, right? He was on point. It took a while. It took like 2 years for his reading to really, oh, that's what that meant. He was on point. So this is what I mean. Like, at first I was like, oh, that's bullshit. Like, that's bullshit, right? His energy was good. His energy was pure. It was clean. It was really relaxed. No bad energy, nothing off. He was on point. It just took a while for me to see it. Oh, that's what that meant. So I'm telling you to say that, know who's a fraud, who's just trying to get by, and know who's actually gifted, who's actually on point. So the lady at Venice Beach, she's a fraud. She learned tarot pretty well. She learned it, but something was off with her energy, and it was a lesson that I had to learn. Yeah, no. So some people, it's a hustle. Yeah, they're telling me it's a hustle. The woman at the shop who was gifted, too bad she doesn't do readings anymore, but sometimes you'll come across people, those rare gems, and it's like, whoa, they're amazing. Like, wow, it's naturally gifted. The medium, naturally gifted. He didn't have cards either. Just read you. Read the energy around you. And he would write things down. Gifted. I've got a numerology reading with someone. She was pretty good as well. So you'll come across people who are good. You'll come across some people who maybe you'll see them on YouTube and they're pretty good. But when you get a personal reading from them, they're not always on point. It's tricky. Sometimes your energy aligns with people and sometimes it doesn't, okay? So keep that in mind when you're getting readings. Take what resonates. If it doesn't resonate, if it feels fearful, if it feels scary, if something feels off, trust it and release it. So that's another tip, okay? When you're getting readings, always pray before you book a reading with someone. Have discernment, okay? At some point, I'm going to link some good readers that I feel that are talented. I haven't gotten a reading with all of them personally, but I'm going to link some of them that I do feel that if I had the chance to get a reading with them, they would probably be on point. I'm going to link some of them. But yeah, you have to have discernment. Sometimes your frequencies are just off. You just don't match with certain people. And sometimes, like I said, not everyone is as skilled as others. And for some people, they just learn it to hustle, you know, and they'll give you a quick answer just because they want their money. It's like, okay, let me give this. Let me see if they'll feed more into this. So be aware of that, all right? Another tip I can give you is to stay grounded. Stay grounded. Nature, barefoot, grass, sand. Stay in nature. Connect to nature. Nature is what's going to heal you. Nature is what's going to connect you. Nature is what's going to keep you grounded when you're having these visions and dreams and epiphanies. Nature. Drinking a lot of water as well will help you. I'm telling you, you got to hydrate yourself. There's so many different simple things you can do to connect. That's some simple things. I'm trying to think of something else, you guys. Lighting a white candle for prayer, for meditation, lighting a white candle to connect with God, the divine source. A lot of people do that in churches. Just light a simple white candle and set the intention, you know, hey God, dear God, Holy Spirit, angels, ancestors, universe, source, whomever you believe in, I'm trying to connect with you more. Please help me to hear you. Send me signs. You can even ask for a specific sign, or I'm trying to connect with the archangels, you know, whatever it is you feel called to. Some people feel called more to archangels. Some people feel more called to their ancestors. But if you work with your ancestors, make sure that you're working with your ancestors for your highest good, because not all of our ancestors are on the up and ups, okay? So, and they're still learning things and healing too, all right? So we have different dimensions, and that's a whole nother video. We have different dimensions that different beings are on, you know. If you feel wow, they just said consider, that's strange. If you feel called to work with ascended masters or different spiritual teachers, then hey, do research on those spiritual teachers and ascended masters. If you feel called to work with different deities, be careful. I would say you want to make sure that you learn about those deities before you call on them, before you start working on them. You want to working on them while working with them, because some of them require offerings. Most deities do want offerings, even your ancestors. So, it's kind of like an energy exchange. I help you, you scratch my back, I scratch yours, kind of that energy. So it's like, let me leave food here. Let me leave this for this being. So I tell you this, to be honest with you, you want to know who you're working with. You just don't jump into it like, oh, I'm just going to work with this because it seems like fun. No, you want to look into it. Okay. You want to look up information about this deity and ask God, the divine, if it's safe for you to work with this deity, if that's what you're supposed to be doing. You want to be careful. There are a lot of demigods and goddesses, that people work with. So just be aware of that, and always follow what you feel called to strongly, but have discernment. Pray over it, okay? That's something I can tell you. I'm trying to think of something else that I can tell you. Have discernment. Have discernment. Not sometimes there's trickster spirits that'll visit you, and sometimes they'll be in disguise as someone else or something. That'll happen in dreams, sometimes in person, in visions. It's not to scare you, but it's the truth. I know a lot of people don't like talking about that side of things, but just like there's good, there's also bad. There's positive energies and spirits, and there's also lower negative energies and spirits. So you want to be aware of that when you open your third eye, when you start, when you start being more open, more aware of these different dimensions and seeing things. Not all of it's going to be, love and light and fairies and angels. Sometimes you're going to see things, you're going to be like, whoa, that was wild. Like, okay, I need to cleanse my energy. So you guys definitely want to know how to cleanse your energy. You want to cleanse your home. Sage, of course, is always nice. And when you sage, you want to set the intention. You want to pray while you're saging, and before you sage, you want to call on God, the Holy Spirit, Archangel Michael, to come through and cleanse the energy. Some people call on Ganesha to remove obstacles, but it's the energy of, let me cleanse. Let me set the intention that this is a cleanse. This is to purify. I'm cleansing me. I'm cleansing my fur babies. I'm cleansing my space, my home, my rooms, my car, whatever it is, you're cleansing it. Some people go through and do that. Some people will anoint their homes, protect their homes, bless their homes with holy oil or a certain intention oil. Some people will take Palo Santo and use it afterwards to sweeten the energy. It's more like a healing, smoke. It can be used as cleansing, but for me, it's more healing. That's when I use Palo Santo, it's for healing and sweetening the energy after sage, because sage can be kind of harsh with its smell and energy. But while you're saging, keep your doors and windows open. Let that out. You want to kind of usher any negative energy out of your home. So start from the back of your home, go from I go from the roof all the way down to the floor. Just go through, open the drawers, open the closets, just sage. Keep praying while you're doing it. You're asking, you're commanding that anything negative leave your home, leave your space, leave from you, okay? So just keep doing that and escort that energy out of the house, out of the front door, like shoo, bye, you're out, that kind of energy. Some people go around their homes and their spaces, like, their yard with sage. You can do that. Some people work with black salt. I sometimes do that. I'll work with salts, and I'll go around my home, around my door frames or window frames with salts. Now I work with brick sometimes. Red brick, I'll chop it up and pray over it and anoint it, and I'll go over like in front of my door frame and all of that and cleanse my home. You could do that as well. I don't know why they're telling me to tell you guys this, but sometimes you can work with the nature, the spirits that are around your home, like the energy, the earth, that's like the animals that come to your home a lot or your yard a lot. Pray, of course, have discernment. And just like send love to that energy. Some people get bird feeders, right? Some people will make sure that their yard is clean, knowing that there are certain animals that come and visit. It's just more of like Gaia has allowed you, the divine God, Holy Spirit, and Gaia, Earth has allowed you to stay there. And the animals, they belong to Earth. That's their home. Technically, you're on their home too. So it's like, it's almost like I give you love, you give me love. So let me be giving and more open in this environment. Gaia loves that. When you treat animals with respect, God loves that too. So it's a connection with, you know, God and Gaia, connecting, you know, healing the earth, since that's where you're living right now, and connecting with God, you know, and animals belong to God. God created animals and they belong to Gaia. So it's like respecting the nature around you, respecting your land because you're living there, right? So always remember that, okay? I know that's kind of weird, but talk to the trees in your yard. Talk to the plants. You'd be shocked what comes through. You'd be shocked. So just sit there and relax. Connect more with land itself. I'm trying to think of something else to tell you. I know that sounds a little weird, but it's true. I'm trying to think of something else. Stay up on your spiritual baths and showers, whether you add herbs in them or not. Pray while you're in the shower. Pray over your bath water. You can use sea salt, Epsom salt. Just pray. It's all about intention. Like I said, some people use hyssop. Some people I know someone who uses rosemary. Some people use different herbs to cleanse. You know, you can make scrubs, you know, or you can put it in your shower. What I say, put it in your shower, you can put it in your bath to cleanse your energy. Some people do limpia cleanses with eggs. Some people do white baths, which is crazy because for the longest, my ancestors just kept saying, goat milk, milk, milk. I'm like, what the hell are y'all trying to tell me? And then later on, someone hit me up. They were like, they probably mean a white bath. When I looked it up, I was like, oh yeah, that's what they're trying to tell me. So sometimes it's like a white bath. And some people will do that even in the shower. They'll take like a bowl or something, and they'll put all like the herbs and maybe milk or whatever it is that whatever the mixture concoction is that you're using, and they'll pour it over themselves either outside or in their shower, because back in the day not everybody had showers and bathtubs, so they still did their cleanses. So we were in nature, you know, using these things. So you can always pour some of this on you outside. I saw this really cool video of this girl. It was really smart. She took her spiritual scrub, right, her cleanse, and went to the beach and just poured it on herself. And I thought that was so powerful and it was so smart. And I was like, why did any of us think of that? Like, just go to the beach and do it. So you're in nature, right? So that was very smart of her. I wish I had her name or I could give her credit. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of different things that you can do to cleanse your energy, even envisioning light around you, seeing your aura, connecting with the chakras, connecting with different aura colors, and praying and cutting cords with Archangel Michael. There's so much to it, you guys. Like, this video could end up being a 2-hour video if I really broke down to you in detail what you could do to cleanse your energy and protect your energy. But one thing's for sure, work with Archangel Michael. Whenever you feel down, low, or depressed, or something's off in your home, light a candle for Archangel Michael. Okay, some people will do it for weeks. Some people will do it for 7 days. Work with Archangel Michael. They have Archangel Michael candles. Call on Archangel Michael or Saint Michael to cut the cords, you know, any negative energies, to remove it. His name means he who is like God. I'm actually probably going to do a video on Archangel Michael separately because he's that powerful. He's amazing. And I've had a quick visitation from him, but he wouldn't let me see his face. But Archangel Michael is quite amazing and a huge angel, really is a huge angel. And one of the first archangels I would definitely recommend anyone to work with. I would actually say out of all different deities, ascended masters, spirit beings, whatever, elementals, I would say if you're going to work with something that's not of this realm, work with Archangel Michael. Work with Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael will have your back. That archangel is powerful. So keep that in mind. If you're working on healing, work with Archangel Raphael. I might even do an archangel video where we just talk about the archangels. Work with Archangel Raphael when it comes to healing. I've had the vision of Archangel Raphael. I've seen Archangel Michael. It's interesting. These angels are very important. Those are the archangels that I work with the most, okay? So healing and protection. Always something that's, you know, that you guys can just kind of keep in your back pocket. Psalms 23 will work miracles too. If you have a Bible, even if you're not religious, get a Bible. Open it to 23rd Psalms. Whenever you're feeling afraid, or if you feel like something's off in your home, say it loud. Say it loud. Whenever you feel off, say it loud. Another thing I would tell you guys, whenever you guys get in arguments or disagreements with people, or if just something feels off in the energy at work or at school or wherever you are with family, something just feels off, as soon as you come home, take those clothes off and wash them. Don't let it sit. Just wash the clothes right away. Get them off of you. Go take a shower. If you can wash your hair, wash your hair. It's about cleansing. Like, okay, we release that. It's not going to linger in my home. It's not going to linger in my space. Also, let go of things that you don't like, or things that hold energy to them. That's for everyone. So if you have a belonging that's from an ex that you don't talk to, get rid of it. If you have a certain piece of clothing or object that reminds you of an argument or a fight or something sad that happened or low that happened, get rid of it. Even pictures that are in your phones, just get rid of it, because it holds energy. Things hold energy. Belongings hold energy. So be aware of that. Yeah, so those are some simple, I know it's kind of weird. It was kind of sporadic the way they had me do it, but I'm just telling you what they want me to tell you right now. And if I get any more information, if they want me to come back and say something, or if I missed, they just said if you left anything out, if I missed anything, I'll come back and I'll talk about it again. But those are some simple things I could tell you right now. Just focus on you. It's all about authenticity. It's not about what other psychics, mediums, channelers, spiritualists, or people who are, conscious, or whatever the heck you want to call it. It's not about that. It's not about the title. It's not about all the BS and followers and likes and who said what. It's not about that. It's just about you and the divine. It's just about you connecting with your higher self, connecting with the God within you, connecting with God, source, universe. It's just about that. It's as simple as you remembering who you are at a soul level and receiving the knowledge and wisdom that you need to live out and fulfill your life purpose. That's as simple as it is. It's as simple as it needs to be. You don't need all this other ish, okay? Because it just gets confusing and it's time consuming, and all you need is meditation and prayer and peace, nature. That's all. So I'm going to come back on here and do more, why did I say readings? Videos like this, where I'm just talking to you guys and sharing whatever the heck they want to say, because they came through here and there. But yeah, they just keep saying, work with Archangel Michael. Work with Archangel Michael. Work with Archangel Michael. Learn about Archangel Michael. You'll see. Work with Archangel Michael. If you guys have any ideas of any videos you might like to see from me, let me know. Any topics that you guys might want to discuss, we can talk about them. Let me know. So this has been like a little tea and tarot segment, and I'm gonna let you guys go. All right, have a good one.